Hello, I'm Armin Budish. Welcome to Golden Opportunities.
Today, which costs more, staying in your home or moving to a retirement community? We'll add up the answer. We'll test your metal with a marvelous metal craft. Then, dental details that will have you smiling from ear to ear. We'll find out how art can help settle our differences. And the rules governing gifts to kids and others. They've changed again. You need to know how.
Today, we'll artfully introduce you to an amazing amount of information, so pull up a chair and join us at our kitchen table for Golden Opportunities. Are you thinking about moving to a retirement community, but you're not sure if it makes financial sense? We've got some important information for you today that'll help you add up the pros and cons of making the change. David Shell, the Executive Director of Breckenridge Village Retirement Community in Willoughby, is here to join us. Thanks, David. Appreciate it.
It's nice to be here today, Armin.
All right, so this is a major question. Which makes more sense for our resources? Is it to stay in our home or move to a retirement community? And what factors do we consider in making that decision?
Sure. It may come as a little bit of a surprise from the executive director of a retirement community, but moving to a retirement community may not always be best. But I think many times what occurs is that once people go through the exercise of really evaluating their cost of home ownership and future services, they'll find that it's surprisingly affordable and a great opportunity for them to consider.
Well, I appreciate your honesty. Let's talk about the factors. What do we look at?
Well, I think that there's a number of things to consider. First of all, the reality that we're somewhat lulled into a little bit of a false sense of security, that some of the things we do in our 60s, we may not be able to do in our 70s or 80s, certainly, and that we've been in a house that we've probably lived in for 20, 30, 40 years or longer, and the realities of maintaining that house. And then when something does
the new gutters, the roof, everything.
All of
you own a house,
things.
we all know those costs.
Yeah, and we had a very hard winter and a lot of ice damage. All of those things really add up. And then secondarily, when something then starts to occur where there's a change in a health condition, how do you access? What do you access? And then how do you coordinate those services? And at Breckenridge Village, if someone does go into the hospital for a hip replacement, we follow up with the hospital. The nurse and the discharge planner are working with the doctor to look at what are the choices, what options can we make, and how do we manage that. That's overwhelming for a lot of people.
And you've got, which I very much appreciate, a worksheet here that you indicated that you would actually help fill out to help somebody compare the costs at a retirement community versus the costs of staying in your home. And some of the things on here I think are very interesting for people. You don't think about the costs for your cable TV, your electric, your gas, when you're at home, your internet access, your water, your sewer, trash removal, mowing, all these things and plus you get some food, you get a meal, which is included, you get some entertainment. Your Saturday night, you have a cost if you're at home, but if you're at a retirement community, you might have it right there.
Absolutely. And I think many times at home, we receive those bills at different times. You don't think about it when the tax bill comes or you're confronted with managing something. And it's surprising that when people take that comparison chart and then look at all of their expenses and then compare it, they're many times very surprised.
And you mentioned health care, home health care. You can stay at home and bring in home health care. How does those costs compare to staying in a retirement community?
Sure. What's interesting is at Breckenridge, we were actually some of the pioneers in home and community-based services. We actually had a grant from the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation and the Cleveland Foundation to research what we called retirement community without walls in the 80s. And we found, and we have our Senior Independence Home Care, that there are times when home health care is a wonderful complement to helping someone stay in their home. But there's times when the complexity of the needs or just all of the other aspects of the cost start to become out of balance. And it's important for people to realize that it may be one solution, but it may not be the ultimate solution.
All this is very helpful. Thank you, David, for coming in today. If you're trying to balance the value of a retirement community versus staying in your own home, you may want to get a copy of this worksheet, which I mentioned. It is very helpful, and I think David would be happy to have somebody help you fill it out. And you may also want to check out David's booklet, Thoughts on Retirement. Call the number coming up for your free copy of the booklet. Thanks to David Schell for joining us today.
For more information, call Breckenridge Village at 440-954-8359 or log on to www.breckenridgeohio.org. Next, a craft that really shines. But first, there's fightin' in them thar hills. The Hatfields and McCoys first began their famous family feud in 1873. But do you know what triggered the fight between these folks? We'll squeal the answer when we return.
We're Gateway Title, keeping life simple. We can make it simple. We've got everything you need. See how easy selling your home can be. We're Gateway Title. We're keeping life simple.
The purloining of a pig is credited with kicking off the clash between the Hatfields and McCoys, and their pig-headed ways continued to feed the feud between the families.
Now we're going to test your metal with metal. But the real test will be if I can polish my skills as a crafter with all this shiny metal stuff. Thankfully, Karen Corvington has taken a shine to us, and she's here to help us with the next craft. Karen's with Pat Catans in West Akron. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
All right, so let me start by, there's all this metal stuff here. What happened to paper and paste?
Well, our Cuttlebug here is basically used for the card stock in card making and scrapbooking. So the question was, can it use the sheet metal? Now, this is the 38 gauge sheet metal, and this is the 36 gauge. This is a little bit stronger, but for most of the things that I did here, I used the 38. But what we did is I have put a piece of sheet metal in our sleeve to start the embossing process, and we have our two sheets right here. We're going to sandwich it in. And then we set it on our plate. You're going to slide it right in here.
So just so people can see, you got these two things here, and you got this piece of this sleeve
metal.
and metal in the middle. Okay, now show us what you're going to do to it.
Now you are going to.
I'm going to do it. Okay.
You're going to take this and crank it right through.
Okay, so I'm a crank, especially when I'm in Columbus. And wow, look at that! I'm actually doing something.
And at the end.
I am so skillful. This is
Now we're gonna take
unbelievable.
that
Look what
apart.
I made. I don't know. What did I make here? Oh, look at this. Can we get a picture of what I did here? Oh my gosh, look at this. Thank you.
And then what you can do is slip that right into a frame.
And you can get different sayings besides thank you.
We have the script. There's all different kinds. I have a little bunny. We have the little trims that you can use.
Okay.
So now you can have it just like this,
Put it in
or you can take the sheet metal and put it inside a punch and then just push it down.
Push it down. Oh, let's. Okay, you got a picture of that.
Press.
What am I doing? Ah! Oh, it's easy. Anybody can do it.
And here we have our little butterfly.
Oh, that's beautiful. Look
The
at this.
other-
Wait, let's get a picture of this thing. You can make a little butterfly here. Can you get a shot? Look at that.
And with your negative,
Oh, that's great.
you can cut the corners off and using even just a little skewer, roll it up to have this effect. So you get a 3D effect.
Let's see the effect. Okay, can you get a shot of this? Let's see. Let's try this. Okay, and that's, what is that? That's squiggles and words.
Yep, that's our script.
Okay,
So just
very
to give
nice.
a kind of a contemporary look, on the frame, what I've done is I've taken the flower punches and then I braided the 18 gauge aluminum wire, and
Very
then I
nice.
found that with the Cuttlebug you can also harden it by putting it through the Cuttlebug.
So you can make all these things.
Yep, here
and you
it
just
is.
have to find some attractive, cute little kids from somewhere. Buy
Yep.
those at the store too,
Or have grandchildren.
and have grandchildren, and you're all set. All right. So I've got my hammer. I'm ready. If I had a hammer, if I can cut it as a crafter, you can too. I had a little trouble, but you can do better. To find out more, call the number that's coming up next. My thanks to Karen Corvington.
To find out more, call Pat Catanz in West Akron at 330-836-5600 or click to www.patcatan.com. Next, a winning season of smiles. Looking for places to go, things to do? Welcome to our community calendar. If you want to hear the sound of music, you don't need to head to the hills. Simply twirl your way to Greystone Hall in Akron, where the many melodies and lyrics of Rodgers and Hammerstein will come to life beginning April 21st, thanks to the Actors Summit Theater. To score more information, ring 330-374-7568 or take note of their website, www.actorsummit.org.
You know how the stresses of everyday life can just tear us down? It can make it hard to smile, and not just because of the pressures we face, but also the pressure we put on our teeth. Dentist Steve Marsh is here to help us lighten up so our smiles can light up too. Thanks for joining us, Steve.
My pleasure as usual, Armin.
You're saying that our teeth, when we're under stress, our teeth are under stress?
Yeah, quite frankly, while you were trying to punch that, you were probably gritting your teeth.
I was, actually.
So, we go through stressful things in our lives, and it can be from work. It can be, some people have habits at night, they grind their teeth. So, yes, over the years, you have wear and tear. You know, most of the viewers, if you're 60 years old, you've had your teeth for 54 years. Well, that's a long time for those teeth to undergo stress. And teeth are like gears, so over time they can wear out.
Well, unless I'm punching metal, I'm an easygoing kind of guy. I don't have any stress lines or anything, so I don't have to worry about my teeth, right?
Well, in your case, because you've done such a nice job over the years of taking care of them, you're probably not in much of, you don't have much problem. But maybe when you're in Columbus and you're going through that budget, you could grind your teeth at night, and your wife might be able to tell you that. People can have sleep problems. They can have sleep apnea. That wears down teeth. We even have patients who actually do lifting of weights, and as they're lifting their weights, they grind their teeth. So there are a lot of different ways that your teeth can wear down, and if you've had fillings over the years and the teeth have worn down, it's very difficult to get those teeth to stay in the same shape after many, many years.
All right, so apart from getting rid of all our stress, which might mean sitting in a cave all by ourselves, what can we do to help to avoid the
stress
wearing down of the teeth?
Well, one of the things that can be done at a dentist is you can make actually these appliances. They're very much like a soft night guard, very much like a basketball player wears to protect their teeth. With sleep apnea, there are a lot of new things that are coming out, and that's for a whole different show. But there are a lot of different ways you can protect teeth. And sleep apnea, Armin, also happens with people who tend to be overweight. And so sometimes it's a matter of losing weight so you can breathe better. So there are a lot of different things that can be done at the dentist to help alleviate it. And then once it happens, then it's up to the dentist to rebuild the teeth to where they used to be.
Well, let's talk about that for a minute.
All right.
How do you fix it?
Well, we're going to look at some patients that we've worked with, and I think that's the best way. I talked about sleep apnea. This is a patient who was in his 60s, and he literally ground his teeth. He's an attorney, as you are, and that may have also contributed to the stress during the day. But look at how much tooth structure he had lost, probably 5 to 6 millimeters of his upper and lower teeth. We literally had to rebuild his teeth from the back and the front. The teeth in front got crowns, the ones in back did as well. But again, he's a severe sleep apnea patient, and he now wears a device that separates those teeth. He tried the CPAP machine. Unfortunately, it didn't work for him, as it happens with many people. All right, we talk about daily stress and wearing down. A patient in his 50s, late 50s, about our age, Armand, he had worn his teeth down. He was in the banking business. And he came in, his wife said she literally looks at him every day and looks at those front teeth and said, we've got to do something. He also had more folds in his cheeks and had more lines, age lines, because he had actually closed down on his bite so much. So again, we rebuilt his teeth.
Very nice. And what's this?
This is a woman, maybe her stress came from her kids. She raised 3 kids. She did a beautiful job. And over the years, she wore her teeth down. Sometimes it's from habits. It can be from biting nails. People who sew can actually wear down their teeth. And we did that with some porcelain veneers and gave her a much more beautiful smile, and one that's very bright.
Last one.
And lastly, this is a woman who for years actually hadn't gone to the dentist, and she had had a number of teeth removed. Some had broken. And that's what caused the wear. Her teeth are like gears. They didn't work well together. She had some old dentistry done. We literally rebuilt her teeth with a combination of veneers and crowns. And by the way, when she was done, we also made her a soft night guard, as I had mentioned before, to help protect the teeth. So we have ways to protect them. Again, we can't always reduce the stress, but protection and then the opportunity to rebuild them is something that today's dentistry can achieve.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure,
Great
Armand.
information. I can't stress this enough. Stress on your teeth can wear you and them out. To take the pressure off and to put your smile back on, give Steve a call. His number's next.
See what Dr. Stephen Marsh can do for your smile by calling 440-461-1003 or visit www.clevelandsmiles.com. Next, our differences on display. It's time to get up and go. An exercise minute on golden opportunities.
Hello everybody, I'm Mike Harbin from Breakout Fitness, and today we're going to do an upright row to work our shoulders. You ready, Armand?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. We're going to start feet shoulder width apart, okay? We're going to have our hands right on our thighs. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull the dumbbells up to the top of our chest, keeping our elbows nice and high above our wrists. Drop it back down nice and slowly. Great. Pull it back up for me one more time. Elbows up, keeping them above the wrist and down. Nice, slow, controlled movements. Looks good. Let's keep our good posture there and keep our elbows nice and high, okay?
That's as high as they go.
All right. You're looking good, Armand. Good
They don't
job.
go any higher than
Right
that.
on.
Maybe they used to. Not
Now it's
anymore.
your turn to get up and go.
For your copy of the exercise booklet, please send $1 for postage to Golden Opportunities, 23240 Chagrin Boulevard, Suite 450, Beechwood, Ohio, 44122.
America's been called the great melting pot, yet we also pride ourselves on our diversity. And since we're all different in some way or another, how does our diversity affect our behavior? An art exhibit called About the Right of Being Different is drawing attention to this question. It's currently on display at the Maltz Museum, and the museum's executive director, Judy Feniger, is here to give us a preview. Thanks for joining us, Judy.
Thanks for having us, Armand.
This is a very different kind of art exhibit. Would you describe it?
It is. It's an exhibit of contemporary art, and it's about, as you said, about diversity and inclusion. And just as the museum is the Museum of Diversity and Tolerance, the themes of inclusion are very important to us.
How many pieces in this exhibit?
It's a 38-piece exhibit, and they're all different kinds of work, multimedia, found objects, photography, sculpture, painting.
Can you give us some examples?
Sure. There's a lot of photography, and some of the photography is of performance art. The piece that we're looking at now is the title piece of the exhibit. It's called About the Right of Being Different. Carlos Vega is the artist, and Vega works with existing materials, historical documents, and then he superimposes his art on top of those documents to be representational of things that are going on today in the world today.
Let's take another example, if you would.
Sure.
What's this?
Sure, Cami Rollner, it's Nobody Wants Cancer, and as you can see, it's a message on a towel. And the juxtaposition of an everyday object like a towel, a very intimate, personal object that you use with a universal message, gives you really pause, and we see people just stop and look and think about this piece.
All right, and these pieces that we're talking about, they can make you somewhat uncomfortable, I would think.
They can. This isn't an easy exhibition, but it's a wonderful and powerful and important exhibition.
What's
the
this
image
next piece?
right now that you're looking at is called Women of Allah, and the artist is from Iran, Shirin Neshat, and she is actually in the photo, and the way that she does her art is she sets up the photo and is within it, usually in her native garb, to talk about the difference between life today, maybe what her life might have been like had she stayed in Iran.
Can you tell us, just take a moment to tell us where all this art came from?
Sure, because that's the best part of the story. We are so lucky in Cleveland. We have the wonderful Progressive Insurance Company, which people know, of course, from Flo and
Right.
all the wonderful ads. But they have one of the world's greatest collections of contemporary art, more than 7,500 pieces, which they show in hundreds of their offices all over the country, but usually not to the public. So we were very fortunate that they agreed to this
So
exhibition.
these pieces are from the Progressive Collection?
They are.
Wow, great, great.
They are. And they've curated the exhibition for us. They're working with us on the educational programs. It's just been a great collaboration.
Well, thank you, Judy. Thanks for giving us a preview. It's
Sure.
very interesting. A little unsettling, but I think that's what's good.
That is what's good.
This exhibit helps bring home the message that while we're all different, we also share a common humanity. The art will be on display at the Maltz Museum until the end of June, so don't wait. My thanks to Judy Feniger.
Learn more by calling the Maltz Museum of Jewish Heritage at 216-593-0575 or logging on to www.maltzjewishmuseum.org. Next, new rules on family gifts.
Welcome to Breckenridge Village, a continuing care retirement community conveniently located in historic Willoughby, Ohio. Whether it's a luxury apartment, a spacious ranch home, or newly built brownstones, it's all here with the added security of knowing more care is available when you need it. Breckenridge Village offers an exciting and upbeat lifestyle, and the food is fabulous, and our staff makes you their #1 priority. Learn more about Breckenridge Village and come see our new Veal Wellness and Aquatic Center.
Did you miss any of the phone numbers we've given? Then get a pen and paper because we're going to list all of the phone numbers from our guests again so you can have more time to write them down. And then I'll be back to give you the gift of information about gifts. Many people know that the new federal estate tax law changed what will be paid on your estate after death. What many folks do not know is that the rules governing lifetime gifts also have changed. But that's why you watch Golden Opportunities, to get the inside track on important, helpful information. And that's why I've asked my important, helpful law partner, Mike Solomon, to join us today. Thanks for joining us, Mike. Don't sound so enthusiastic. Why are the gift tax laws important to so many people?
Well, a lot of people make gifts for a variety of reasons. Number one, they may want to avoid income taxes by giving away some assets, or they want to reduce their estate taxes, or they might do a lot of Medicaid planning to try to give away assets so they don't lose it all if they have to go to a nursing home.
Tell us about the new gift tax laws.
Well, around a decade ago, the estate exemption, the amount exempt from estate tax, and the gift exemption, the amount you could give away free of gift tax, was the same. In 2002, it was $1 million.
Life or at death, $1 million.
That's right. You give it away, no taxes. On Bush, when he changed the law back in 2002, the estate exemption increased over the years, but the gift amount stayed the same. So now under this new law, you can give away $5 million even during life or on death, free of estate tax, free of gift tax, rather than $1 million under the old law. And if you're married, by the way, that's double that. You can give away $10 million.
But what is that, 5 and 10 million? People have heard about this $10,000 a year limit. Where's that come in?
Well, that mixes up a lot of people. Actually, the $10,000 amount's been adjusted for inflation over the years, so now it's $13,000. So you can give away $13,000 per donee per year. So, for example, let's say you have 4 grandchildren. You can give each of them $13,000, and on top of that, you can give away another $5 million, all free of gift tax. The $13,000 ones you can use each year. The $5 million is a lifetime amount. And again, it's doubled if you're married.
So the $13,000 a year to as many people as you want, that's in addition to the $5 million that you can also give away?
Yes, it's on top of it.
And you could give it all to one person? It doesn't have to be divided
the
up.
The $5 million you give to one person or split it up any way you want.
So should people give their money away when they're alive?
Well, again, that depends on your situation. Again, one of the advantages of giving money away while you're alive is that you get to see people enjoy it. If you give it to your children or grandchildren, you get to see them enjoy it. As I already mentioned, you can save some income taxes, or maybe there's an estate tax reason or a Medicaid planning reason. But the downside of giving money away is once you've given it away, it's very hard to get people, get it back from someone. So you're losing control. When you give away your money, you have no control over it anymore.
You mean your kids aren't going to give it back if you ask them for it?
Not your kids.
Not my kids?
Yes.
Well, that's not very nice about my kids. My kids are wonderful. All right. Will the new law stay in effect for a while?
Well, again, the strange law, it expires after 2012. So it exists for 11 and 12, and Congress has to revisit this. If they don't change anything, we go way back to the old law, the $1 million exemption.
So if you're planning on giving away money, this might be a good time to do it.
That's right.
Thank you very much, Michael. I'm going to tell my kids what you said. The gift rules have just changed. Again, it's important that you understand how they can work for or against you. For more information, about the gift rules, give a gifted attorney, Mike Solomon, a call. His number's up next.
Call Budish, Solomon, Steiner, and Peck at 1-888-236-5173 for more information. Or log on to www.budishandsolomon.com.
Thanks for joining us. Next week, I know we're ready for warm weather, but is your home ready? We'll hammer home some tips, and we'll see how the rubber originally hit the road right here in our area. Until next week, please remember to make the most of your golden opportunities.
Would you like to join our kitchen conversation? All you have to do is call toll-free 1-877-765-1543 and leave us your question, name, and phone number. Or log on to www.golden.tv for all the latest information and show updates.